Hello and welcome to the show. We head to Hungary for the next round of my F1 career mode. A track that is very good for me. A circuit I absolutely love driving around, probably my strongest track on the calendar. Now, the last time I went to a track that I was very good at, that was Montreal, in which we qualified pole and won the race. There is potential for another very, very strong result for the Renault. There is also potential for some problems. You see, engine parts are not doing well at all on here. Having suffered the kind of early bugs of the game with insane kind of engine part wear, we're already now onto our fifth components of a lot of them. And it's not like I can even go back to running older, dodgier components for practice because all of them are so broken now that it's pointless me running them. The car will be so slow, I'm not going to be able to complete practice programs and so on. So we're having to run the slightly better components, even for practice and so on, just so we can get through it. Engine component-wise, we'll be okay for this race. That's not a problem. Gearbox is a potential issue. Now, we are on to our final race with this gearbox, the sixth race of this gearbox. It currently sits at 70%. Now, they did tweak the game to stop gearboxes losing gears at the lower levels of wear. However, this is going to be getting very much towards the end of its life during this race. I don't really want to change the gearbox because I don't want to take a penalty. I don't know whether the gearbox is going to survive the race. I really don't know if the gearbox is going to survive the race, or even qualifying or practice. I guess if we start losing gears in practice, I'll have to take a new gearbox. It will cost me some grid penalties. If I take a new gearbox, I'll probably grab all the new components from here. Might as well start from the back and have extra components ready for later rounds, but we're going to kind of see how things go in practice, see if we can keep all of our gears, and take it from there. Well, as we are heading towards the end of the second practice session, I have managed to complete all of the various programs. Not really been pushing the car massively hard. I don't think we're going to be beating the, well, funnily enough, the likes of the Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Mercedes. I think they are just going to be simply too fast. Seventh place is probably where we're going to be looking around as the best that we can do, unless there's any weirdness occurs, of course. Now, I have, currently we're on the soft tyres, I'm sat in 11th place, a fair bit faster actually than Hulkenberg. Seems to be struggling with the Renault here today, which is always bad news for us. I've kept the car in okay condition. I mean, as I said, we try to limit my laps so that we don't damage the engine, etc. more than necessary. It's the gearbox that's the concern. 76%, I'm not going to do any laps in practice 3, we've done all the programs I need to. But even then, going into qualifying, if we start losing gears, we're going to be in trouble. Especially if we lose gears in the first part of qualifying. Whenever we lose gears, I don't know at what percentage we might start having problems with this. Other components I will have to be swapping out going forward into the race. Well, I say I have to be swapping out. Might keep energy store. I'll probably just swap out the motor generator unit heat part. These lot here are not particularly healthy. I say not particularly healthy, they'll do for now. But, yeah. Engine is an issue. The engine is an issue heading into qualifying.
You're pushing too hard. It's causing your gearbox to take increased wear.
Jeff, it's qualifying. I need to push the car hard if we're going to get somewhere on the grid. Well, having just stuck the car down, wasn't a particularly clean lap, but we got around the circuit. 21.3 is the time. We currently sit ahead of Verstappen. Yeah, Verstappen's on the softs, but thank you, Jeff. I was just informing people we're 0.3 of a second down the road from Ocon, Grosjean, and so on. Hulkenberg's up in 10th place, which is nice to see. We're looking relatively safe from, I say relatively safe from the rest of the cars. It's going to be quite close around here. Things like the McLarens are considerably better around this circuit than we have seen them at previous circuits. Of course, it's a much more handling track. Looks like we're going to get through, no problem though, which is good news. Ooh, Bottas has a grid penalty. Not quite sure what for, but Bottas is in trouble. We're miles off of the top guys, but a 7th place looks possible. So far, I have not been having the best of luck. Jesus, Perez has found a huge amount of speed. I could not string together a half-decent lap. There's definitely more time in the car than a 1:21.1. There kind of needs to be if Perez is going that quickly. Yeah, could not get a good lap strung together whatsoever there. Oh, Bottas has gone ahead of us. Not surprising, let's face it. Bottas even on the soft. We are struggling a little bit more for pace than I would like. It's a small concern. Small concern for the Renault. Don't know how Hulkenberg is going to fare. I've not got enough time or enough tyres or anything to go again, so we will fast forward time. Hopefully I will have done enough to get me through to the next round of qualifying. And indeed it is. 8th place. Perez is the only one beating us. Alonso's into the top 10. Look at that. Aside from Perez's blinding lap speed, the other Force India is out. The other two cars that I might stand a chance of beating, Sainz and Alonso, are both through, but are half a second down on me. So yeah, 7th place, probably the best we can do. Maybe if Perez doesn't have such a blinding run in the next time, but yeah, we're going to be down towards the lower part of the top 10. Well, having had to use 2 sets of tyres to make it through in Q2, I've got 1 attempt. Basically going to have 2 laps of good grip from these tyres to try and get myself higher than 10th on the grid. Well, I've thrown absolutely everything at this first lap. I think this is probably going to be the quickest lap I have done around this circuit so far. If it isn't, I will be disappointed. It's 21.0. It's not a bad lap time, but it's not as quick as the 20.6 Perez has done previous. Crap, and now this one's gone. Let's hope that single lap is going to be enough. We are ahead of Perez for now. For how long we stay there, because they're going to have another try, I don't know. Well, as I had partially expected, the most likely qualifying position, the best that I could do, being 7th place, and that is where we have qualified. Beat Perez by about 1/10 of a second. Only a couple of tenths down on Verstappen, which is promising. I thought we were going to be a lot further down on the Red Bulls. The Ferraris and Mercedes are too quick for me here. No surprise pole position. I guess with a little bit of luck during the race, maybe we could get a better finish than here. Bottas does have a 5-place grid penalty as well, I think, so we might actually be starting 6th. Although, with a 20.2, is a second a lap quicker almost, I doubt we're going to be able to keep that Mercedes behind us for too long. The bigger question is going to be, will my gearbox survive the entire race? I'm hoping it will. But there is always that question mark. We might have to try and conserve it a little bit towards the end. We'll kind of have to see how we end up, really. Well, it turns out after various penalties have been applied, we are going to be starting from 5th place. In the end, Ricciardo and Bottas have been dropped further back. So, not a bad spot on the grid to have. Expect the Mercedes to come flying through. The Red Bull I might be able to fend off. We will have to, though, see how it goes, and of course a large amount of that is going to come down to, will my gearbox make the distance? Fingers crossed we don't start losing gears towards the end of the race. Well, here we go, as the vehicles are making their way back to the grid. We are going to have a good chance. So we have a good chance into turn 1. We've got a good position heading in towards turn 1, but we've got to be very, very aware of that Force India. That does get off the line incredibly quickly. Yep. Jeff, I am about as ready as I'm ever going to be to take on this race. I hope I don't have to do too much gearbox saving. I hope we can run quick towards the end of the race and get another good finish, as we are going to be off and underway here in Hungary. I'm very concerned about the Force India, who is going to simply breeze past us down in towards the first corner. Thought about having a big dive. He's kind of half left space on the inside. I don't really care about the energy store, I'll be honest. The energy store is the least of my concerns at this particular moment in time, Jeff. We're going to go around the outside of Perez. Looks like we might hold on to that there. Whereas, of course, India, he is going to back out of all that and give me some space, thank God. I love turn 4 here. It's such a brilliant, brilliant corner, and we are around it cleanly for the first time. Now, what can I do about maybe going after Verstappen? It's probably not going to last long, this pace. I tend to be quicker than the AIs on the opening lap when tyres are cold and fuel loads are relatively high. Them cars are probably going to pick up pace, though, fairly quickly, and indeed they are already towards the end of this lap. I think they have got more speed than me, although will Verstappen have reliability problems? Will the Ferraris have reliability problems? I'm not sure where everybody else is in terms of sequences with parts, because I'm miles out of sequence at the moment. So while this is the last race for my gearbox, don't know whether that is a similar case for everyone else or quite how it's all going to work. We've got a Force India still relatively close. Is that going to have a sniff around the back of our car? Not close enough into the first corner, and I've braked a little too early because I'm still thinking we're running on rich mixture with DRS over and everything. We clearly are not. This is going to be, I think, a long race of trying to fend off a Force India. It won't be the first time we've had a long race of trying to fend off a Force India, but there we go. The Mercedes hasn't got through the field as of yet to be challenging us. Oh, I've completely cocked up that one. That's the issue with turn 4, is it is very, I say the issue, it's very easy. It's a complete blind corner. Make silly mistakes. Oh, I don't know what that, I think that's about a gearbox, but never mind, Jeff. Make silly mistakes, turn in too soon. We have to try and not do that one again. These next few corners are very difficult to overtake through, so we're probably safe from the Force India for now. Oh, here comes that Force India down towards the first corner. I'm going to go defensive, make him try and go the long way round. He is not going to be able to. Got to watch out for the DRS. I think he's going to get too slow through the first corner to be close enough to attack. See some debris across the road from the cars up ahead, maybe? Yeah, either way, he's now dropped back. The Mercedes is coming, though. I can see it behind the Toro Rosso. Well, something has happened to Perez. I'm not quite sure. I think he's made a mistake somewhere. He has fallen back. I've now got Sights behind me, and behind him is Bottas. The debris I spotted at turn 2, I think, might have come from Vettel, who has dropped back to 4th, so probably lost a little bit of front wing. Verstappen is flying and busy fighting away with the Ferraris, unfortunately. Yeah, I am struggling a little bit for pace at the moment, which is less than helpful. I had hopes to be faster here at Hungary, but have not currently got the speed needed. Here comes that Toro Rosso. He's going to go to the outside. I will defend this one as well. A little bit of a lock-up. I'm amazed the Mercedes hasn't come soaring past that Toro Rosso yet. Okay, yeah, sure, I had DRS from me, but the Mercedes you would expect to be considerably faster. But there we go. For now, we just cling on and hope through the pit stops we can magically come out ahead of these guys. That might be the tough bit. Well, there is another lap, and there's going to be another charge by a Toro Rosso, but it is not going to be able to do too much. Bottas still stuck in behind, unable to find a way past. I will hold the Toro Rosso out wide through turn 2, although he might make that one work. Nope, he did not. Ran out of grip on the outside. Now I've got a Mercedes behind me. That's not going to be so fun for the poor Renault that has no straight line speed at the best of times. Bugger.
We've lost one of the gears. The transmission is significantly
Oh
damaged.
no, that's bad. That's bad. We've lost third. Third gear's gone. Oh crap. I don't know where the gears will come back. Oh, we are really on the poorly side of things now. Bottas is going to come past. It's not going to be long before Ricciardo comes past as well. Oh, the Sights is behind us. Sights recovered actually to go back into fall back into line. Have all the gears to lose. Third is not particularly helpful because a lot of these corners are third gear corners that I am wanting to come out of. Yeah, this is going to suck. This is really, really going to be...
To the gearbox issue, but I'm afraid there's nothing we can do. Try and drive around it. We'll just have to hope for the best. Remember that you have a lot of torque in these power units, so you should be able to stay in higher gears for a lot of the lap.
Well, that's not promising. Are we going to be able to still score points? It's going to be a tough old day because I want to be in third out of these corners, and I'm not going to be. Should I have changed gearbox before the race and gone towards the back of the grid? I don't know. Oh, no, it's actually the same dumb thing again through there. It's going to be a long day and a lot of trying to cling on to positions, I fear. Ooh, we've got third gear back. I just instinctively put the car down some gears and we found a third. So it might drop in and out of being there, which would be less than ideal. I also hate this pit lane. It is a awful pit lane because I just can't see where the line is to slow down for it. It's somewhere there, but it's so difficult to see. We are going to lose some places, I think, in the pit stop. Fairly sure Sights, fairly sure Ricardo are going to jump us. We might be able to make some time back up again. Hopefully. I could have pitted the previous lap, but with a lot of cars around, I don't know why, it just didn't want to get going there. That's not helpful. With a lot of cars around, we could have potentially been stuck, like stacking up with vehicles. So that's why I didn't come in when I did. I know, gearbox is wonky. So as expected, we are behind Sights. I think Ricardo is up ahead. However, the good news is at least we might be able to still score some points, especially if we can keep third gear working. Of all the tracks to start having some issues, I could have really done with it not being here. There we go. How much time are we going to have lost with these gearbox issues? Are we going... Okay, we're just going to stay ahead of that group of cars that have all pitted, including Hulkenberg, so we're ahead of Grosjean still. That puts me in 11th. I think there are still some cars, the Force Indias and so on, to make their pit stops, so we may still be able to cling on to a top 10. That would be nice. Again, points are what we need if we're going to have to try and drive with a dodgy gearbox. Yeah, at least scoring points would be a nice bonus. Well, this is an interesting turn of events. It looks like one of the Ferraris of Raikkonen has had to make another pit stop. Whether he's trying a two-stop strategy, sometimes the AIs do go for a two-stop strategy. Not that it's ever a good idea on races that are this short, because Raikkonen's now got a lot of work to do to try and get back through the fields. Puts me up into 7th place. Unfortunately, in terms of my race with Sights, he gains a lot in terms of speed through the first sector. I then gain it all back through sectors 2 and 3, and we're basically staying at a stalemate. Ooh. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Okay. Make sure to keep it positive. Well, this is a not quite what I needed, if I am honest with you. Safety car has come out. This helps out Raikkonen the most. It kind of helps me out. It's going to put me... I know, Jeff, I'm slowing back down. It's going to put me in contact with Sights, which means towards the end of the race, we might be able to do something about finding a way past, but likewise it puts Raikkonen back in contact with all of us, and that Ferrari is going to be very, very quick. Quite what the safety car is going to do, I'm a little bit concerned about. The last time we had a safety car interlude, it never went back into the pit lane, and I don't want to have that happen again. Although admittedly that did help me out. Let's try to reduce our pace a little bit. That's not what I needed. So, yeah, I don't actually quite know what happened. Hey, whoa, what the hell is going on? What? So I'm really confused as to how this safety car... So I'm slowing down because the Delta was being all wonky. I say the Delta was being wonky because I had to slow down, but then I guess we're technically in the safety car queue, so now we go flat out to catch up to the back of it. That doesn't make any bloody sense, because I was going slow, it allowed Grosjean to get past me. Well, after the more safety car nonsense. What are you doing, Hulkenberg? Get back into line. No, Hulkenberg. I don't know what's going on anymore. The safety car does not really do much safety. Basically, we slowed down to then go and do a racing lap, and now up in a queue, of which things are probably going to go wrong. What's happening? What are you doing, Hulkenberg? Look, I know you want to get past me and everything, but that's not how it works here. Oh dear. I'm not looking forward to this restart. I think a lot of things can and probably will go wrong. I also can't put the car into lean, because lean fuel mixture mode isn't working at the moment. So, yeah, we will have, whenever the safety car... There we go, safety car is going in. We're going to have a couple of laps, of which I am going to be in maximum attack mode, which is, you know, fun. Why am I in ghost mode now? What the hell is going on? I blame my teammate. Hulkenberg's doing weird things to my car. Can you please stop trying to overtake me, Hulkenberg? What are you doing? I've got... my teammate is being a nightmare. Jeff, get on the radio and shout at Hulkenberg, please. Because he's going to end up putting me out of the race if we're not careful here. Or I'll put him out of the race. One or the other is going to happen. Okay. We are here. No, I'm not going to make things easy for you, although he has got more straight lines. I think I've got too much downforce on my car in this race. Like at Canada, where I found so much speed, I was making it work with low downforce. I think I've got too much around here, even though this is more of a handling circuit. Hulkenberg's on the back of my car! Oh, what?
If you continue to cut corners, the stewards will give you a
Yeah, I cut corners because I got fired across the corner by Hulkenberg.
penalty for that last incident.
I love Hungary. Hungary is one of my favourite circuits, and things have not gone well here. Yeah, things have not gone well whatsoever. At least I guess the safety car is out of the way. We might be able to get past Massa. We might be able to get past Stroll. We're going to mess up that corner though completely. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone completely and utterly wrong here, and I'm not 100% sure it's all my fault this time. Hulkenberg was doing really dodgy things at the restart behind the safety car. I don't understand why that one was happening. I could probably have not squeezed Hulkenberg so much, but something's happened up ahead with a Mercedes. It's Bottas. Bottas is done for. There's a lot of shenanigans occurring here. Unfortunately, that time penalty is going to put me out of any... actually, I might still get points because I'm in 10th now. So even if I get past the Williams, I will still probably be in 10th and have over... So we might get some points at least. That's something. May still yet be more crashes going on in this race. So let's be hopeful of that. Can I find a way? Can we actually get a legitimate overtake today? We've not really had... It's been eventful more than exciting, I think, is the best way to describe it. Yeah, can we get an overtake on a Williams? We're not going to be able to pull the 3 seconds clear of them, but I would like to do it just to say that I have, pretty much. Oh, that's not a great line through there. A little too shallow on the way in, makes me a little too wide on the exit, and we will... smack it down through the gears, try and not run into the back of the Williams. We've got enough fuel to run rich for this final... Ah, crap, it's Verstappen that's behind me. I don't know how on earth Verstappen's ended up back there. He might have got in a crash with someone. It might have been him and Bottas. Who knows why Verstappen's behind me. But I have got to try and stay 3 seconds ahead of Verstappen, who is going to be going very, very quickly. If I want to get some points, I've got to go within 2 seconds of Verstappen's lap time. Hopefully his car is broken, because otherwise I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that, especially not if the Williams end up slowing me down through the sections of the track that my car should be quick at. I mean, the good news for Renault is that Hulkenberg is doing very well today. The bad news for Renault is that I'm not going to be able to help that much with, yeah, Verstappen's really closing. It's 1.6 seconds is the kind of important margin for me. Get out of the way, Massa! Something's wrong with Raikkonen's Ferrari still. It's not a happy car. Why are we... I don't know why we're at yellows through here. Something's gone on! What has gone on here?
You need to give that position back. That was an overtake. Green flag.
Well, Bottas has managed to utterly screw over my entire race as well. Hungary has been an unmitigated disaster. And that's that.
Some information on Stroll.
And the engine held up.
Well, that's a disappointing result for sure.
That's it.
We'll try to bounce
The
back.
gearbox held up. Just screwed me over a little bit. What a terrible race that was. What a terrible, glitchy mess that race was. That's such a shame. I love Hungary. It's such a great track to drive around. And we should have had more points. We should have had a lot more points in all of that. Well, I say we should have a lot more. We should have had something. We should have got something out of the day, even with a little bit of dodgy driving. At times, I think I could have driven quicker earlier in the race. But there we go. At least Hulkenberg scored some points in all of that. Yeah, I'll end up 11. I do beat Sights in the end of it. What the hell happened with a lot of the cars is going to be curious, I think. So, yeah, let's go and have a look at the replays. So, first of all, what brought out the safety car was indeed the Sauber breaking down. Nothing more, nothing fancier. We haven't really seen any safety cars from crashes. It was just a Sauber breaking down as it headed into the first corner. It just stopped going and he turned out of it. I think he ends up in the runoff area. So that's the Sauber broken down and that's the Sauber out of the race. Up until this point, everything was going relatively normal. Right, so safety car restart, and at this stage everything is in kind of the order that you would expect it, apart from whatever the hell Hulkenberg was trying to be doing. So Hulkenberg's busy trying to get past me and screwing up my kind of run onto the restart. I've forced him across the road to the wall, make it difficult really for Hulkenberg. As we head out of here, I'm trying to decide whether I was being clipped. No, I was kind of ahead of him. I hadn't squeezed him into the wall there. I just braked slightly differently to where he's expecting and fired me across the track. So apparently that one there was, yeah, my fault. I was clear ahead of him as I went across. So that's, yeah, thank you for that one, Hulkenberg. That puts me off. But some more weirdness is going on up ahead with the Bottas, isn't it? Which one's Bottas in here? So Bottas is doing his own thing, running around in third place, trying to find a way past the Red Bull. The Red Bull dives in the pits and I don't know why. Why does the Red Bull go in the pits? And then Bottas stops? Does he have a puncher? Yeah, okay, so Bottas has a puncher. Where does he get the puncher? Does he hit something? I don't know. I don't know why Bottas has a puncher. Whatever reason. Okay, so Bottas has a tyre go down on him, which is, I guess, you know, not so unsurprising. I don't know why on earth he's gone back over onto the racing line. It's again I guess everyone's gone past him. So Verstappen's in the pits as well. Something went on with his car to need him to pit. Basically, it's just a big old mess from everybody, and then I get screwed over when Bottas is limping his way back to the pits on the final lap, and apparently I'm not allowed to do that because Bottas is doing 3 miles an hour on the racing line, and that's an illegal overtake. So I get screwed having to wait to let Massa back pass. Verstappen gets the position, and I'm stuck with nothing I can do. What an absolute... So yeah, whatever happened to Bottas' tyre, whatever gave him a puncture, caused a lot of that chaos in the latter part of that race. In terms of the championship, well, I stay ahead of Massa, stay ahead of Perez and stay ahead of the two Force Indias, the two Williams, still 10 points down on Verstappen, closer to the Red Bull than you might expect. Vettel continues to lead by a mere 8 points over Hamilton. Constructors-wise, it is all status quo, although a good day for Renault, with Hulkenberg scoring some good points. We are only 4 down on the Williams and still not that far away from the Force India. Unfortunately, yeah, the hope was this was going to be a good day. The hope was this could have been a much better result. We could have had, to be fair, I should have been 4th, really, in all of that. We could have had a 4th and a 6th. That would have been a much better day for the Renaults. But, yeah, it was not to be, unfortunately. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.